Hey cookers, today I'm cooking 2-alarm chili, Texas chili. What other kind of chili is there? Some of the keys to chili is texture and flavor, and we're going to be going over keys to getting that. Now, this is Wick Fowler's 2-alarm chili kit. And what's different from this and what you get in other chili packages is that inside the box are discrete packets of seasonings. So here you go, chili powder, some mesa for tightening it up. This here is cumin and oregano. This is paprika. This is minced onion, dried minced onion. And this is red pepper, cayenne pepper. So it's all in here. It's really like making homemade chili, but it's giving you everything already measured out for you. We're going to use this kit, but there are some tricks to doctor it up, make it better. So I've got 2 pounds of hamburger meat here. And what I want to do is really just put this in decent sized pieces here. Now, when I was a kid, you could go to the butcher and you could get what they call a chili grind, which is really ground chuck is what you would use. Ground chuck that is maybe ground 4 times coarser than your typical hamburger meat. Okay? And that's what we would use for chili. I've gone to my local grocery stores and I just haven't had any luck getting somebody to do a chili grind for me. Oh no, you just get what's on the shelf out there. So what I'm going to do is make almost like little hamburger patties. And I'm going to break these up, but I want to leave pretty big chunks. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to sear this. I'm putting them a little bit thin. I'm not really making meatballs. It's just like little tiny patties going on here. And I'm going to sear these up good. And I don't want to overstuff my cooker here. So I've got my Ninja PossibleCooker Pro set on bake at 425. And you could see here, these little burger patties are sizzling up pretty good. And I really just want them to brown and sear good. And then I will take these out and rotate in the next set of burger patties. All right, let's let these cook. I'll flip them over, let them sear. I'll take them out and I'll put them right back in the same container because it's all going to come back in here and get cooked anyway, so I'm not worried about contamination. I'm going to wash my hands back in a minute. All right, so let's see how these things look. Let me flip this one over. That's nice and brown. There we go. That's what I want. Just cook these nice and brown. I like my meat seared. I just do. Let's let those brown on the other side. So I'm going to take these little patties out of here. They'll get broke up. I'm just going to put it right over here. And look at all that good brown stuff down the bottom. And that's nothing but flavor. I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of the meat. Now here's the thing. You can use hamburger meat like this. But other things that you can do that I actually prefer to do, but I was trying to demonstrate a quick and easy chili method here, is you can take a chuck roast and cut it into, dice it up into little 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch cubes and use that and brown that up well, that actually would go very well. That's what I do when I'm trying to make what you might call better chili. And then I also would make my own chili, roast my own chili peppers, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to let these brown, just like we did the others. I'm going to wash this spatula because I picked it up with hamburger meat on my hands. And then we're going to put the rest of this together, and I'll show you what's going to happen in a few minutes. Alright, so let's turn this over. Yeah, that's nice and brown. That's what we're looking for. Let's let those finish browning, and I'll be back and we're going to have some fun here in a few minutes. So now this meat is nice and seared on both sides. What I'm going to do is take all of this hamburger and put it back in here. Okay? What I'm going to do here is I've got two very large, well, pretty large onions, and I'm going to dice them up pretty coarse. Now, this is just my preferred thing to do that I do with chili. Now, you don't have to put these extra onions in here because the Wick Fowler comes with minced onion, but I love the flavor of onion. And I'm going for a chunky texture. You know, I had some of that Cincinnati chili that was like ground mush, and they put cinnamon in them, and it didn't taste like chili to me. You know, Texas chili is chili by definition. Okay? I mean, chili comes from Texas. So, I'm making Texas chili here. So we just got some very coarsely diced onion here. I'm putting this onion, all this onion in this pan. Now you're saying, Jill, why do you have all that grease in there? Look, that grease is also accompanied by some really good beef flavor. It also is going to help cook these onions. I don't want them brown. I just want them translucent and cooked a bit. So, texture is important for me in chili. I like a chunky chili. That's why I've got this hamburger like this, but now I'm going to start breaking it up. Okay? There will still be nice big chunks of beef, and there'll be nice big chunks of onion. But it's not just going to be just ground hamburger that's little teeny tiny pieces. It's like, where's the beef? Where's the beef? Remember that Wendy's commercial? Where's the beef? Well, you're not going to have to worry about that in this. And also, if you take that chuck roast and dice it up and brown it up, that'll turn out really good too. But here we go. This shouldn't take too long. I've got this cooker at 425 degrees, but I'm just breaking these things up so that when you take a bite of chili, you won't have to question where's the beef. Alright, so let's see how these onions are doing. Yeah, they're almost done. So now that they're in about this state, I've got about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic here. This is just jarred minced garlic that you would get at your grocery store. I just want to add this in here, just a little more garlicky flavor because, well, I love the flavor of garlic and I love the flavor of onions and so forth. And I just want to let that simmer for about a minute, let that garlic come up to heat, and then I'll start adding all my other seasonings. Yeah, that smells really good. The onions and the garlic. Wait till I start adding the seasonings in here. It'll be really, really good. Now, if you know somebody that likes good chili and wants to have something special, you know, share this video with them. Wick Fowler was world champion chili cooker. And just stir this chili pepper in here. So he knows what he's doing. And this is like making homemade chili because you've got all these individual seasonings here. So that was the chili powder. And this here is the cumin or comino and oregano. Let's give this a good stir. I like adding it right to the meat to make sure that that meat gets that good seasoning on it. Let's see. Here's just some minced onion, and that's good. It's minced onion and minced garlic. And then here's paprika. Let me stir this up. Yeah, you can see that chili powder down on that meat, how dark that is, and that'll be okay. And here's some paprika. We'll just throw this in here. And then stir that in. Okay, so they call it 2 alarm chili because of this cayenne pepper. Now, cayenne pepper is hot. I love the flavor of cayenne pepper. I even put it on my ribeyes once in a while. Wick says on his box there that this is 2 alarm chili, and he said if you want 3 alarm chili, just add some more cayenne pepper. You want some false alarm chili, don't put any cayenne pepper in it. Well, 2 alarm chili is about right for me. I'm going to be sharing this with my neighbor Bobby, and he says he likes it spicy, so I'm cooking this for Bobby. Now, for me personally, the flavor of cumin or comino is what makes chili special. So this is about a half a tablespoon of cumin, and I'm just going to doctor this up by adding a little extra cumin, because for me that's what gives chili its unique flavor. Now, Wick says on his box to put an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I'm going for chunky. I'm going for texture. So I've got 2 cans here of diced tomatoes. So we're going to put these in here. And then these are petite diced tomatoes. You can have, regular diced tomatoes. And all I'm doing here is this is going to give it a nice tomatoey flavor. And then finally, we're going to add 2 cups of water. Now, look at that chili. I mean, that just looks delicious. So, we need to bring this up to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, I'm going to put it down on slow cook at low and let this thing simmer for about an hour. What I'm trying to do is get them tomatoes to break down a little bit and let those seasonings meld a bit. But look at that chunk of beef in there, and the chunks of onions, and the chunks of tomato. That's what I want. When we're done, I like a thick chili. We're gonna make a slurry with this masa and add it here, and it'll tighten it up and thicken it up real good. If you don't want it thick, just leave the masa out. All right, so that chili's boiling pretty good. Take a look at that. Okay, it's about where I want it to be. And then I'm gonna taste this. Don't worry about that grease. I'm gonna skim that grease off when we're done. That's pretty good. So now I'm gonna put the lid on it. We'll take a look at this in about an hour. I'll stir it a couple of times between. All right, cookers. This has been simmering for almost an hour. I did bring it up to slow cook on high. And what I'm gonna do here is just skim off some of this grease. Just skim it off, taking my ladle and just letting it slowly, just that grease has risen to the top. And I'm just allowing that to go into the ladle. I don't need to get all the grease off, but I want to get a significant amount of it out of there. And the reason why I didn't drain it earlier is because in with that grease was lots of beef flavor, and I didn't want to drain all of that out. Instead, I knew here at the end this grease would float to the top and we can just skim it off. Now, there are different methods for doing this. Some people just let it come to the chill and the grease solidifies and you just pull it off, and that's a good idea. Some people just lay a slice of bread on top of it and let it soak it up, and that's a good idea. And I'm not really looking to get all the grease off, just a good chunk of it. And I think I got most of it here. So that's a good bit of the grease off of there. All right, so let me stir this. Now, if you look at this chili, it's nice and chunky. That's the way I want. You can see them tomatoes have broken down pretty good there. But I like it thick and tight. And that's what this mesa is for. So just open this up and mix it with a couple of tablespoons of water. Just make a slurry out of it, like that. Let me grab a spoon here, and this should just make a thick paste. See, we got a nice thick paste here that this makes. You want to add this to your chili and stir it in, and give that about 5 minutes. It'll tighten up that chili. You want to stir it real good, and it'll tighten up that chili, and then we'll be ready to dish it up. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so let's see how this turned out. So here it is. See, that's much thicker, not near as watery as it was before. So let me just plate this up. Now that's a nice bowl of chili. You would top this with a little bit of sour cream if you like. And then, oops, I got a little bit over there. And then maybe some cheddar cheese. Garnish this with a little bit of cilantro. That is beautiful. Some people put beans in their chili. I don't think Texas chili has beans in it. But if you're going to put beans in there, put in pinto beans. Or if you're absolutely desperate, kidney beans. Let me try this, see how this turns out. That's good. I think it needs a little bit of salt. I didn't put salt in it because Bobby doesn't eat a lot of salt, but that's pretty good. Share this with your friends, people that you think would like some good Texas chunky 2-alarm chili. Got a little bit of a bite, but it's not too outrageous. Y'all have fun.